Greetings to all. Osmosis the Compost is here because I'm doing a video. Let me button up my collar so I can look proper. Let me actually see if I can raise the seat just a bit. Welcome everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy 12/31, um, 2020. Clear vision. Hopefully you were able to get some clarity this year in your life. And 2021 is going to be 2020 in hindsight. But also, yeah, all bets are off, and push all the chips to the center of the table. And here we go. We are in the future, learning from the past and doing our best to make the best present. So be present and in gratitude, of course. So this particular video is going to be short and sweet. This is Compost and Causations. I am Osmosis the Composters. A friend of mine wanted me to share like why um, I'm qualified to even speak about compost. And I think this is my third compost video. And I think in one of the first two I shared my background and my history of like how I got into this work and why I do this work. Um, and so, but just to make it super, super brief, I've been a trained composter now for 2.5, 3 years. I've worked in the industry for almost 3 years exactly. And I've been involved in and around compost now going back to 2011. So that's almost essentially like 10, going on 10 years. And I'm not an expert. I am just adept and informed and skilled at certain things in the agricultural world, specifically as it pertains to composting. Always a life of learning, always an ever growing process, to become a better version of oneself. And as a professional, that applies as well. So it's a continuous process and a continuous journey. But I've worked for very prominent organizations and still am working for very prominent organizations that are based in New York City. So I have some experience, in Atlanta, Georgia, have some experience in New Jersey, but the bulk of it is in New York, in particular, Brooklyn, New York City, or Brooklyn, New York. Um, and so, yeah, I've been doing this work, and my specialty is, um, uh, yeah, handheld tools, um, composting, and non-fossil fuel based composting. Um, and pardon me if I'm, forgetting some of the terminology, but yeah, that's my specialty of using hand tools to process, to care for, maintain, and distribute compost. So what comes in as food waste and material, having the right ingredients and the right proportions, the right amounts, knowing your recipe, knowing your ratio, if you got 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, and what your specific environment or your intent calls for, how much space you have available, if you need a bin system, a 3 bin system, an earth machine, a drum, or if you need to build windrows. There's various ways that you can process food scraps and making incredible compost. You just need to know what you're doing, um, why you're doing it, and what the end result is. And so for me, I've had that training, to be specific. I'll name names, NYC Compost Project, Grow NYC. It started with, compost for Brooklyn, in Atlanta, Georgia. There was a brother who has a very prominent, I think his name is Rashid Nuri, if I'm correct. First time I've like thought about him and had to think about his name. That was in Atlanta, Georgia, and Jersey. Just growing up in Jersey, And yeah, New York. Those have been the two main prominent organizations. Um, Grow NYC, NYC Compost Project, Brooklyn Botanic Gardens. So those like the three, DSNY sanitation. So parks. Those are like the main four that I've had training with and have come through their systems and have literally trained volunteers from all around the world and all around the U.S. from school groups, kids from as young as 6, 7 years old, um, to corporate groups. I'm not going to name names, but all kinds of prominent corporate groups, nonprofits have come to our site, which was I helped to manage the country's largest fully renewable composting site in America that uses renewable energy. So no fossil fuel based machinery, just pitchforks, shovels, wheelbarrows, rakes, brooms, barrels, so on and so forth. We did it. And, over 2,000 volunteers per year, processing, over, 200 tons of compost a year, food scraps compost a year. We were doing that. And I was one of three, and then eventually one of two. And that sometimes, was in charge of heading and running and managing this site. And I'm super thankful, specifically under the tutelage of Domingo Morales and, his mentor, who has since passed on, David Buckle, who's a legend in composting amongst other things. Um, so he helped teach Domingo. Domingo had the passion, the drive, and the just brilliance naturally to expand upon that vision and scope and scale, and saw something in me, and asked that I join his crew as the first selected. And I got to give props to my other comrade, Xander Shaw. We were like a triad. We did great work. And, like I said, then, it was just me and Domingo. And, when the others weren't able to be there, when he wasn't able to be there, I was in charge of managing and running the site. And so that would be volunteer days, that we would assign. People could come as walk ins. So we literally, by way of school groups, corporate groups, walk ins, we did it all. We were also a food scrap drop off site and the processing site. So, on Parks land, right next to a farm, partner with the farm. So we're comrades and co-workers of the farm. That's a different organization. But yeah, so on and on and on and on and on and on. Specifically in Red Hook, Brooklyn. That's exactly where it was at. And that's my background. That's my rap sheet as it pertains to composting and the formal work. And growing up, I was exposed to some agricultural things, and I've shared that in more detail in the previous video. Just wanted to take what was supposed to be a minute and took more like 5 minutes to just give some more background on why I'm qualified. And also, I am in my skin. I am a proud foundational African American, proud foundational Black American. Um, and so my people, my ancestors have been doing this work in the homeland and the motherland, Africa, and also this land being America, where my ancestors are also from in more modern times, be it African, and or indigenous First Nation peoples primarily being, of course, I'm sure I have some Caucasian in me, but predominantly it's African descent, and some First Nations people descent. So in my DNA is already the skill set and, the handling of food waste and reconfiguring it to have it be something to help grow more food, and grow more trees and have a more nurtured environment using what it is you have. So a closed loop system, something that is regenerative, um, and keeps that going. So it's already in my blood, it's in my DNA, it's in my spirit, and this is something that I have agreed to in this lifetime to be part of my mission on planet Earth and my purpose on planet Earth is to um, create products and services in this field that we don't presently see on planet Earth. And that's what Osmosis the Compost is about, or where I'm taking it to the next level of where I'm going is to create products and services as it pertains to agriculture and specifically composting that we do not presently see outright on the planet. And I want to do my part and help others out who are creating the same and help get that out to the world and create my own products and services. I have some interesting things lined up, and 2021 is going to be about building those out with your help and your partnership and your assistance and your support as much as you possibly can. Spread the word, and composting is where it's at, and we are all going to turn into compost at some point. So it's all a sacred process. In the meantime, we are creating compost by way of our own waste coming out of our bodies. And the foods that we choose not to eat or the leftovers are so it's composting all the time. This is the, as I would say, compost cosmos. Um, that's mine. I'm branding that as well as Osmosis the Compostist, um, and got a few other namesakes as well. Yeah, I'm feeling myself just a little bit. I've earned that right to speak as such. Um, I've worked with thousands of people from all around the world, and they've added something to my spirit and increased my skill level. I've taught them, and they have taught me, from professionals to people who are brand new and have never picked up a pitchfork, a shovel, and moved any earthen material. So it's all been a teaching, a learning, and a teaching process. That's my qualification, and I just wanted to share that a bit more. Wanted to restate that and let you know that 2021 is going to be about the incredible products and services that we have as a team, and in particular, me as Akmos. Akmos is the composters that I have planned, and I would like for you to stay tuned and you know keep your good sense about you, and keep your good sense about you. Hint, hint. Um, and yeah, just keep composting and take the power in your own hands. Facilitate it. If you don't see it, if you feel like you're challenged with it, speak with another, form something, and do your best at it. So that is this particular episode of Compost and Causations. Um, episode program 3, if I'm correct. And a friend of mine also recommended, who also works in compost and agricultural, to not to show myself a bit more. So let my hair be seen in certain features instead of wearing this thing on my head. But I want to let you all know that you are appreciated, you are cared for, you are why I do it, and without you in particular, I wouldn't be able to do it. It's give and take. And yes, I have my own composting business. Um, I am a hauler, what they would call micro hauler, and also I'm a processor, and I have my own tools and equipment and such. And so just be self reliant as much as you possibly can and know that you have help out here. And so I look forward to see what you're going to create as it pertains to agricultural matters and also in particular composting. So join me in that. Happy 2020 once again. It's been a very, very powerful and profound year. And ashe to those who didn't make it through, um, and salute to those who are still here and moving through into 2021. So I thank you. I love you. And yeah, keep it compost. Peace.